tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
We have to let this play for just a little bit. Given that we have the hidden temple and everything going on this episode, we gotta let it ride. Hello, Transformers, Robots in Disguise fans, and welcome to another episode of the AFTERBUZZ TV Robots in Disguise After Show. We will be talking about Episode 9, Rumble in the Jungle. And joining me today are my wonderful co-hosts, Alexis the Wrecker.
Hey, what's up? You can find me all over the interwebs as Torres890.
Emma the Speedster.
Hello, you can find me all over the internet at Emma Fyffe.
Megan Lord Megatron. That one.
This girl sitting next to me. I don't know.
You guys know her for years.
You guys can tweet at me at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin.
And I am Katie Kia Prime. You can reach me at KiaJ, KIAXET. Remember that we are doing a live chat if you're watching live on YouTube. We are also watching the Twitter feed, so tweet hashtag ABTVRID if you'd like to join in. And today we have a very special guest, Liam, voice of Underbite, O'Brien.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Live studio
Thank you for coming. Live studio audience.
Yeah.
Liam.
It's me. It's a good show so far.
Not the highest of bars, but great.
Yay!
So can you tell us a little bit about your experience voicing Underbite?
Sure. I've been around since episode 1, although I'm not as, central to the plot. So I know what I did at the beginning, and I know some other stuff. I always forget what I'm allowed to talk about and what I'm not, so I generally don't talk about anything.
Talk to us a little bit about the beginning, then.
So you can't talk about how Underbite's just going to eat everybody in the next episode,
you
right?
can't talk about how he'll inevitably conquer the planet?
The entire city of Los Angeles. But I grew up watching the 80s Transformers and was in love with it. And I've been doing dorky cartoons and games for years now, but I've worked on a couple Transformers games, but I'd never gotten to the sweet, sweet fruit that is a Transformers series.
Transformers series.
Yeah. So I was just happy to get into robot form one way or another.
Via eating a city.
Yeah, and I'm glad it was a Decepticon.
The winning team.
I associate more with the evil side. All hail Megatron. And,
That's so sweet.
Oh, there it goes.
Megan's really flattered right now.
I'm a fascist, and I just like a nice shiny boot. A nice shiny boot to lick to get me through the day. And
Listen, I mean, based on the events we've seen so far in Robots in Disguise, I'm thinking the Decepticons might not be quite so bad.
There's a reason we call you the Speedster. Okay, so we should probably get started actually talking about the episode.
Yes, please.
And we open up on Strongarm being a dork. Because
She's so cute in this episode.
I absolutely loved her in this episode, and especially after last episode, where I'd been a little disappointed. I felt like her character was kind of stagnating.
Yeah.
This episode was just fantastic for her.
And she's going to prove herself, and she's doing her own solo mission, and she drove 2,000 miles, and I'm watching this going, is she in Nevada?
Yeah.
Is she? It looks like Nevada. Is she in Nevada? I'm getting really
Please
excited.
tell me she's driving through Jasper.
No, she's in like Mexico at this point.
Like, you're in the
no,
wrong,
he's not
wrong
in
desert,
Nevada.
Strongarm. Wrong desert. Go back.
We needed that.
I know. I also just loved that she was doing this like really nerdy captain's log diary.
Personal journal.
I love that.
You gotta keep a diary of all your road trips, right?
Yeah. Oh, totally.
And there has to be at least one. There's got to be one character doing this, and let's face it, it's not going to be Sideswipe.
Nah.
No, it's gonna be our awesome lady bot who's like, oh, diary. Although I wouldn't put it past
solo mission, and maybe maybe I'll get promoted and it's going to be awesome and someone's following me.
I wouldn't put it past Sideswipe to do what Russell was doing a couple episodes ago and narrating as he goes or something.
That was spectacular as well.
I can see him getting Grimlock to do it and the two of them just narrating the world.
Sorry, in my brain I was just thinking of Kronk where he's just like,
Yes! Exactly!
He's doing his own theme music.
I'm so glad I was unconscious for this part. And all of the Disney kids in the audience are like,
yeah, totally.
Anyway, so Strongarm.
So we have Strongarm noticing that, lo and behold, someone's following her. Bee's not subtle.
No.
I mean, for being a scout, he's really not subtle.
No.
And he is following her on her mission.
That's an excellent point, actually. Now that
would just hit you now?
Yeah. Shouldn't that be his area of expertise?
Apparently not, because the whole time when I was watching this, I was like, why are you so bad at your job?
Well, his job is no longer scout. His job is now commanding officer, and it's like, oh, honey.
So I guess he's rusty.
He's rusty.
Wow.
No!
Yes.
I didn't mean it! I didn't mean it!
That was so great. The putty glass.
Oh, no!
Wait,
I didn't mean it.
because it's a requisite. Boo.
I deserve that. I deserve that. It's
That
my
was
job
beautiful.
for those listening for the first time. It's my job to boo any and all puns that are on this panel.
And it's usually my job to make. It's usually my job to make them without any sort of chagrin or modesty.
Can we move on so I don't have to live with that?
No, this is beautiful.
Bumblebee used to be a good scout because he was silent.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you made it work.
I'm just being very distracted by this chat roll right now.
What is chat roll saying? I gotta know.
Mystica 01 keeps saying, "Hey Archer" to you,
Hey,
Liam.
Archer?
Yeah.
Well, that's because I am a bow and arrow expert,
Yeah.
obviously. That's a reference to an anime.
Yeah.
series. Okay.
That is what I figured.
Hello.
Just for you, Roz. So
Yes,
you
just for
can
you.
just cool your jets. Okay? Not to add that up to the putty part of that as well.
I mean, lots of other
that's
people in the
beautiful.
chat are excited that Liam is here as well, but yeah, Roz Mystica has just been a constant
Very
stream
excited.
of "Hey Archer."
Literally since we hit start streaming, it's been endless amounts of "Hey Archer, hey Archer, hey Archer, hey Archer, hey Archer."
Okay, Roz, give it a rest.
Back to the episode.
You got your shout out. Let's talk about the episode.
Roz, much like Bumblebee, not very subtle.
Not subtle at all.
Man, we
and also not silent.
Can I just say though that normally I thought it was played up for a lot of good laughs in this, and B is very sweet in the way that he goes about it. But can I just say that I normally really hate episodes where one character is tailing another character who's out for the first time on their own because they don't think that sometimes it's because they don't think they can actually do it, and then other times it's
Right.
just out of concern. But I always get really frustrated because it usually ends up at the same point of something going wrong because that person was following them, and then them using that as justification. Well, you can't go out on your own anymore.
Yeah.
It usually drives me crazy.
They did play this one a little different, and I do like that Strongarm pointed out, and I wrote this down. You're clearly demonstrating you don't trust my abilities or my training. Like, oh, she's got you there, buddy.
I know, yeah, and I agree that it did play out a little differently.
Yeah.
It didn't play out in the typical way of the person who was tailing them messed everything up, and that the person who initially wanted to go do a mission on their own could have potentially been successful on their own. It ultimately was a really good message about putting aside your pride to rely on the help of others.
Yeah, and this one, normally what happens is that the person tailing the other person usually leads that first person to acting out of character and doing things that they wouldn't do if they hadn't found out they were being tailed.
Yeah.
I feel like they mostly avoided that because, with the exception
totally
of calling into base and lying, Strongarm mostly acted the same. And that kind of leads me to believe that, given what we know about Springload, she probably wouldn't have walked away from this mission had B not been there.
But
so that doesn't make him right.
No.
But it's... I'd rather her be alive, you know?
I completely agree.
And I have to say, I really liked her calling into base and lying because it was so out of character for her in a good way. In a, like, she is starting to take risks as a character that totally by the book Strongarm previously never would have done.
Yeah, because in my brain I was just kind of like,
No, I love that.
That wasn't very lawful good. good, but
Loved
it
it.
worked.
Well, it seems like the whole story of the season is all these different members of people who weren't meant to be a team evolving into something more effective and something stronger. B assumes the role of leader, but he probably is, clutching a little too hard, and he's gonna, let his people breathe. But they're all, screw ups in the beginning, so each in their own way. So B has to let them be them, but they also have to learn how to. They kind of have to meet in the middle.
Completely.
And her and Strongarm's thing is that she's ding 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 ding. There's no improvisation. So
She's a little too lawful good for her own good.
Well, and the other
Take it to
comparison that keeps getting made is that B is essentially an older child babysitting younger children.
Oh, yeah.
So of course he's not going to go about things in the same way that Optimus would.
He's a 20-something-year-old herding high schoolers, and having done that last month, I can tell you that is not easy.
he's the RA.
Especially when they don't listen
Yeah,
to
we
you.
talked about that. He was the RA kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys. I actually listened to my RA, but I am the strong arm in this situation.
I was an RA and nobody listened to me. Apparently.
I did not listen to my RA.
And that's why we call you the speedster.
We had an RA.
Yeah.
Oh, Megan tried.
Yeah, did,
Liam, did you
there's
listen to your RA?
reasons for those
I at one
nicknames.
point lived with my RA, so
So you really didn't listen.
I ignored, I guess. I don't know. He wasn't a very hands-on RA. Anyway. But anyway, I mean, who wants to listen to RA? You're just out from under your parents' eyes. You're not, I'm not listening to you.
Totally.
Or you.
Like I said, I'm the strong arm in this situation. I was a good kid with a lot of Catholic guilt. So now that we all know that about Katie, let's continue
Moving on.
story. Let's stick with a strong arm story for this, because there's the continual stop following me, and then B finally going, okay, I'm going to follow you, but I'm going to be an observer only. Sure. Let's see how long that lasts.
Yep.
35 seconds?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, it was 30. 25.
It wasn't long.
Not much screen time, because we run into our wonderful Decepticon, who is an amphiboid, I believe.
Yes,
it
term
went pretty
they used,
quickly.
yeah.
I love that so much.
Is that another one that was created for the series, or did it exist prior?
I feel like it's new.
I was going to
There are a few
say,
things
I
that are
feel
new.
like it's new. I feel like throughout this series, since they are relying so heavily on the animal-based Decepticons, that in addition to just creating animal-based Decepticons, they're also creating sort of subclasses.
True.
So basically saying if we saw another frog Decepticon, it would also be an amphiboid, which I believe amphiboid is the correct term that they use.
so crazy.
Crazy how Earth and Cybertron parallel, isn't it? Almost like they
Based in
have
the
twin
Latin.
cores.
I was gonna say, I'm like, he's a tree frog.
He's
That's
totally a
exactly
tree
what
frog.
he
He is. He's a tree frog.
crazy
they're
tree
in
frog.
South America somewhere. He's been drinking his own Kool-Aid at this point.
No, he's been bathing in it.
He's called Springload.
I love that.
And he's a tree frog, and it's hysterical.
He was great.
He was a little truck.
And I loved when Fixit was talking about him when he was reading out what it said in the Alphamore Manifesto about him, and he's like, the human code name for its mental state would be bonkers.
Bonkers. The human word for it is bonkers.
Yep.
And then also they paid the price warning, and you could tell them that he has acidic spit.
Yeah.
Acidic everything.
I feel like that should have been higher up on the priority list of apart from saying bonkers.
I mean,
the next thing you should have said was also poison skin.
Also, he
Delightful.
secretes acid,
Yeah.
so dude's poisonous.
That
Don't.
is-
Which is very correct, because that's how tree frogs are.
Yeah.
They're extreme.
Yeah.
They're beautiful creatures, but they will
Do not
F you
touch.
up.
Well, yeah, aren't there people that tip their spears and darts and
Yeah.
whatnot with the poison from tree frogs? And
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
So
don't lick the frog, guys.
was
Just
like-
don't lick the frog.
But yeah, I was
Why would you be licking a frog anyway?
To get high.
Oh,
yeah.
You've never.
There was an
You
entire
were
Family Guy episode.
really quick to answer that question.
I read a lot.
Have you been doing the toad, Katie? No, there was an entire episode of Family Guy about teenagers
I
who
knew
were
what you meant.
licking
Yeah,
toads.
that's what it was called. It was called you were toading. That's what you were doing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. We are all over the place today. I love it.
I'm surprised we didn't bring up Hypnotoad.
Oh god.
Well, we have now. And we find Springload yelling at statues around a temple.
I will
so great.
never ever get tired of Decepticons yelling at inanimate objects as if they are real people.
Well, what was funny was
Terra Shock was beautiful, but this was even better. Did you see what I did to your friend? We can be friends. Just tell me what I need to know.
Well, when we first hear him off screen and he's talking about I thought that the cult people had come back.
It sounded like, what was the name, Arthur?
Yeah.
Whatever his name
It
was.
sounded like a Scientologist in South America.
Cult of the Cospigo.
I was there going, why are they back? Did they find a new Decepticon? God dang it!
Because Scientology spreads to everywhere except what, Australia? Is where
Apparently
it's
so.
illegal.
It's not in Australia? Oh, it's illegal. Oh, man.
Australians
They're
are on
ahead
top
of
of their
us in
stuff,
many
man.
ways. Wow.
They deal with so many deadly things down there. I mean, why would you bring in Scientology?
I'm just saying, it's like random tips with Katie Cullen.
I read a lot. Lick frogs to get high, and there's no Scientology in Australia.
There are, however, giant murder spiders in Australia, so, I'll take my chances with the Scientologists.
Which is less dangerous, you decide.
Somewhat less. So we have Springload yelling at statues, trying to find the city of Doranus, the fabled Cybertronian land with the fountain of Energon that gives you, it's essentially the fountain of youth in El Dorado. Let's be real. Again, amazing what the parallels are.
I know. It's great.
That hit. Sorry. I was thinking the movie.
On the road to El Dorado.
In her head, she's probably going, El Dorado.
Magnificent. Yeah. No. He's not nearly that charismatic.
No.
It's too bad he didn't have a friend. He could have gone on a road trip.
Yeah. No, see, that's what Strongarm and Bee are doing here.
Kinda, yeah.
Basically. Yeah.
Yeah, God, just them trying to apprehend the frog and her calling it blah. I'm getting my events mixed up. Bee saying, well, now we know what he is, and now we know he's bonkers, so we need the rest of the team down here. Mm-hmm. First of all, making the call when he's not even supposed to be here, and then he's supposed to be pretending that he's not here. So it's like, way to be. Force of habit is not a good excuse.
Yep.
And second, as Strongarm points out, they're 2,000 miles away. When are they going to get there?
I loved so much when she called him back once again. I'm going back to that. But when Strongarm called Fixit and was like, never mind, we don't need your help. You fell into my lap. It's good. It's handled.
In the 60 seconds since we last talked to you?
Yeah, we're in a different time zone.
Okay.
That's how time zones work.
Obviously,
good.
that's how this functions. It's just like, I can't believe that worked. No, I can't believe that worked. It's Fixit.
Let's fix it. He believes anything.
And he's having enough to deal with right now as well.
my gosh,
Talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, not to sway from our Strongarm story, but that whole scenario, I was just like, oh, I just wanted to just end. This is so dumb.
It came right the heck out of nowhere.
We'll get to it, but it did feel out of character.
It was a little weird.
And it felt unprompted.
Yeah, completely.
Unprovoked is maybe the better word.
So they follow crazy Hypnotoad down into the temple.
Oh, no, he didn't get away.
He didn't get away. No
No,
nickname.
he doesn't get a nickname.
No
but you know who did get away? Well, got liberated in the last episode. Underbite.
Squirrel Chow.
We give nicknames to all of the Decepticons that are still roaming free.
And his is...
We didn't have one for him
We
yet.
need nicknames for Underbite.
Yeah,
start it going, and we'll see if we got
Well,
some
what are
good
the
ones.
other nicknames?
Steeljaw is Hungry Like the Wolf.
Which I think Teen Wolf is better.
Chop Chop
Okay.
is
I like
Legion of
Hungry Like the Wolf.
Spiders.
Okay.
And
What was Thunder?
Thunderhoof fluctuates between Mafia Bambi and Uncle PJ.
Because he actually sounds like Alexis's Uncle PJ.
Yeah, he's from Boston, and he's just a giant amount of happiness. So
We've been calling him Uncle PJ. So now we need one for Underbite, and my vote is for Squirrel Chow, but that's me.
Squirrel Chow.
Squirrel Chow.
Hungry Hippo?
Beast Force fan.
bad.
Oh, that's good. Beast Force fan says Brawnbite.
We'll give it to the end of the episode.
Yes,
we'll,
yeah.
come up, we'll workshop it a little bit.
Save him till the end, guys.
I'll be screenshotting anytime I see it. So just go for it.
All right.
Hit me with what you got.
Please do. This will be wonderful.
This is gonna be great.
So
Man,
they
these are good.
corner him in the temple, or so they think they do, where he is once again beating up statues and yelling at things because this. I wish wish I'd written down more of what Springload said because he was amazing.
He thought they were dead at one point. Like, that's how out of it
He tried to collapse the temple on them after Strongarm grabbed him and went, "Oh yeah, there's acid on this guy." And she seemed to shake off that injury pretty quickly.
Well, so did Bumblebee when he licked him.
True.
Does Bumblebee have a tongue?
No, Bumblebee wasn't getting high on.
The other way
Bumblebee
around.
wasn't getting high on Toad.
Not this episode.
No, I did have a vision of Bumblebee
Licking a toad.
That's the making of an after-school special of some sort.
Kids, follow Bumblebee's way. Do not lick toads. Roll out. Like, that's what I say.
Like an Optimus Prime style Sonic says.
Yeah, PSA. Oh my god.
or like a G.I. Joe PSA.
The more you know, and
Show
knowing
me
is
on
half
the
the
toy
battle.
where the amphizoid licked you.
We just got real weird.
Yeah. This is, so back to the toad licking people. I mean,
Not the other way around.
things that I never thought I would say live on air. I know, right? Let alone ever.
This episode got weird.
It got super
It
weird.
was a very strange episode. I didn't understand what was going on besides Strongarm just being badass.
Oh no, I meant this episode. Our panel got weird.
Well, it's also the first time that we've had
know. I thought this episode was pretty great.
No, this
it's
episode
also
was
the
fairly
first time that
straightforward.
We've had a certifiably insane con.
Yeah, true.
We've had a few wild ones, but we haven't had a
Oh, yeah.
ever.
Actually, I believe it was Silver Shimmertail was saying, Sky Shimmertail said in the chat, was the prison ship just holding all mentally ill Decepticons?
I think the prison ship was holding people where it was like, you are a repeat offender and we are 1,000% done dealing with you. Because I mean, they have Grimlock. And Grimlock is just property damage, but how hard is he to wrangle?
I can imagine.
Very difficult.
And he may have just been labeled a con because he was breaking the law, not because he allied with them or anything. Just because it was like, you're not getting along, brand, get out.
Yeah. And this is just going back to when we were talking about PSAs and like PSA stuff.
God.
And Yellow Bumblebee pointed out correctly as I was going, I was like, I feel like when I was a kid watching the 80s show, there were PSAs because it was the 80s and every cartoon had PSAs and there indeed were.
Well, Sailor Moon does too.
Yeah,
and they
Sailor
just
says
they
that.
threw those together for Toonami.
Were they like G.I. Joe the war?
G.I.
Well, I know G.I. Joe did, but
serious
Transformers had
Yeah, the
similar?
Transformers ones, they said, Yellow Bumblebee 32 says there were Transformers
gosh.
PSAs. Yeah, it's been a long...
Blocked it out.
long time
Okay,
since
you
I
guys,
visited that series.
find links on YouTube.
Please send them to us.
Tweet those to us. Tweet them to us because I really, really want to see
I was gonna
these.
say I know exactly what I'm looking up as soon as I get home.
I know, right?
Beast Wars fan said,
Ooh.
Cybertron, 3 strikes, you're out.
Yeah,
Do they
maybe
even
there.
get 3 strikes?
They probably get like 1 or
They
2. Or at least
probably
with,
get 1.
Or at least with Grimlock. It's like, no.
Oh my goodness.
No.
This is from...
That's a good look.
This
That's
is
a good one.
so unrelated, but Lisa...
we need to get back on track
Okay,
after
but
this
I
one.
just have to tell you that due to our earlier conversation about how Decepticons should rule the planet, Lisa on Twitter, her Twitter handle is @BullySharkMom, tweeted at us a bumper sticker. So good. All hail Megatron, global domination.
Oh my gosh, I need it. I need it. I
Lord
want it.
Megatron needs
We'll
that
keep the
for
trains running on time.
Cybertron doesn't have trains. Its trains are people.
That's true.
Okay, we gotta get back on track here.
Hey, there are train. Yeah,
There are trained Transformers. That's a thing. Anyway,
So we finally get, I kind of called the team and they're kind of not coming because I'm kind of sick of your interference and this is my... So that was a fun conversation.
Yeah.
And it ended with Strongarm saying, I do kind of need your help. Would you be an active participant instead of an observer?
I was so glad that she did that. I was like, come on, he's
Yeah.
there.
because it would have been just as easy for them to go the other way and to have her be stubborn about it, and then
Have him have to come to her rescue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's true.
So I'm not quite sure what the lesson here was, because, I mean, she did ask for help, and that's great, and that's a very mature thing to do, etc., but he was also kind of following her and not trusting her very much, so we kind of got mixed morals.
It was a
with
mixed
this
message
one.
because he should have gotten the message that sometimes you need to back off while she also needs to, like, I would have almost liked it if there was a point where he did back away and then she did have to call him, but then that still gives the same mixed message.
Yeah.
But I feel
So-
like a lot of children's shows, even like with like All Family Matters back in the day, like they would have like Urkel would learn something, but also so would Carl.
But I don't know. I don't know if he learned anything.
No,
I don't think he did.
We didn't get it in the nice speech wrap up at the end of the
Yeah.
So anyway, so we're still going to need to work on that. But
There's still episodes left this season.
Strongarm
Learn to let go a
pretending
little
to
bit.
be a ghost.
That was
This is one of my favorite things for main characters to do, and I've loved it since Red vs. Blue came out with the Ghost of Church. This is my favorite stupid thing for characters to do. Is the spooky voice, and we are the ghosts of Tyrannus, and we have found you unworthy. It was just amazing.
I like that was her strategy.
This is the first plan that's relied on acting that's actually been pretty good. Every other, I'm going to act it out, and every other acting plan has been sideswiped. That's the problem.
Come on, Sideswipe is a great actor.
No.
Totally.
No, he's really not.
He's cute, but
He's
no.
cute.
I'm sorry.
But so are dogs that
So
run
is
into
my
walls.
6-year-old when she wants to do the school play. But
Your 6-year-old is probably a little smarter than Sideswipe.
And probably a better actor.
Also, damn.
Pull that one out there. Sideswipe hate going on right now.
Palm trees are just spurting
His
out.
one-liners are on point, but the episodes that focus on him drive me up the wall and back down again. Pun intended. So
I am so happy right now. You guys don't even know.
So we essentially learned that it's okay to ask for help, and we have a frog in a box now. How we're going to transport him from the box to wherever is completely beyond me, because we
Unclear.
kind of cut to black at the end of that. But we have a frog in a box, and it's a temporary solution that will never be addressed.
FedEx. It's FedEx.
Just get some duct tape and ship it home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'll put it in another box, and I'll mail the box to myself. Yeah,
surely
when it arrives, I'll throw it in the stasis pod.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Surely there's flat rate shipping for ancient sarcophagus guys. Sarcophagus.
Sarcophagi.
Makes sense.
Wow.
Sounds legit.
Okay.
Okay.
Now we have the other half of this episode, which is the
we have to talk
kazoo
about it?
debacle.
Which made for. There were a lot of funny moments in this one.
Were there?
But
You sound like me last week.
you know what? There were some funny moments in this one.
I'll take that.
But for the most part, right out of the gate, something fell off. I feel like we missed a scene somewhere, or maybe the order of this episode was out of place because there was a lot of mistrust from Fixit, and that seemed unprovoked.
But didn't he have that last episode where it's like, and he needs to stay out of my stuff?
I need your dad not to touch my things, but it's never been overt. It's always kind of been little.
I felt
That's
like
the only one.
Yeah.
I felt like the lead up to this was missing.
Yeah.
I liked this storyline. Ultimately, I enjoyed the plot of Denny and Fixit needing to learn to work together and learning to recognize each other's mutual talents. Yeah. But I agree that them having this all-out war with each other
so strange.
kind of came out of nowhere.
That escalated quickly.
Yes.
That really got out of hand.
But the problem is, Fixit has been watching Dr. Phil. That's the issue. The only way it could have been worse would be if you were watching Jerry Springer, but that's not a joke you can make on a kid's show.
I'm sorry, I'm a couple episodes behind. Did you say a kazoo is involved?
So we have technology and being good at technology, and Grimlock thinking he's good at technology.
Grimlock is so adorable.
Russell being like, no, this is a kazoo. It does this and does the little. I have a kazoo in my purse. I really should have pulled it out for this episode.
I would have totally. Well, no, I'm glad you didn't, because I would have been playing that damn thing all day.
The entire panel would just be noise.
Well,
More so than it already is. Yeah.
And the moment leading up to the kazoo was amazing too, because basically Fixit was saying, we're superior at understanding technology. And Grimlock says, I wrote it down, he goes, yeah, only big brains like ours understand complicated stuff.
Like, Grimlock, honey, you really are. He's the puppy that gets on the table and thinks he's people.
Yes. And you're like, oh, he thinks he's people.
He's a very different dumb than Generation 1 Grimlock.
Very different Generation 1.
And we've been saying that he has more emotional intelligence. He kind of gets how people work.
EQ.
But he is not the sharpest light in the box. The brightest bulb in the
Sharpest tool in the shed.
Well, if you break a bulb, it's certainly sharp.
That is one way to go.
Accurate. Can't argue with that.
It has been a long day. And this turns into, it starts being stop touching my stuff and turns into straight up technology wars. And this is something I would have expected from Strongarm and Sideswipe.
This is definitely more of a...
The kind of sibling, don't touch my stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
It was just
Because we have a blaster that isn't working, and Denny deciding he's going to fix it, and Fixit getting stuck in a feedback loop, which was creepy.
That was really creepy.
That was just like, it's a really funny show. It's a dorky episode, whatever, and then you see him just repeating the same word over and over and over, stuck, and it's like, wow, we just got a small dose of existential horror in the middle of our bright, happy children's cartoon. What happened?
There's layers. There's darker layers.
Like onions.
Oh my gosh.
We watch the same movies.
But yeah, I mean, I also was crazy how he was just like, oh, it looks like it's corroded, and apparently that's happened before, and he was like, it's gonna blow, and like it just exploded, and I was just like, how did that happen? That was weird.
At that point, I think they all assume that anytime weird technology stuff goes down, it's just like, hit the dirt. It's gonna happen, and if it doesn't happen now, it'll happen later on, so just... And again, last week we had, well, it'll either work or we'll be caught in a fire explosion. 50-50.
Yeah.
So this is just kind of Tuesday, I guess.
I'm
Things
gonna assume
exploding.
so.
Must be Tuesday.
And I love the fact that Fixit's like, my comeback is I'm gonna reorganize your mess, but in Cybertronian alphabet.
By Cybertronian aesthetics.
Yeah,
that is...
Oh my god.
Like, that is super, super passive-aggressive.
Everything is super passive-aggressive.
I don't know.
And I love Grimlock going, should we break them up? And Sideswipe going, should we sit here and watch them?
And then just sit down automatically.
What's the Cybertronian equivalent of popcorn? Because I feel like that's
they
what
needed
happened
that,
forever.
yep.
Like popcorn.gif, man.
I have no idea.
Energon Nibs?
Yeah.
Niblets?
Energon Nibs.
Someone should
Or
make
like a
that.
shake.
Someone write an advertisement for that. Energon Nibs.
Yeah.
We have a Megatron bumper sticker. I think that we can get an advertisement for Energon.
Energon Nibs.
I don't know. Sorry, I was thinking of like the Obama Hope posters, but it's "You failed me yet again." I don't know why. I just thought that was really funny in my brain.
Have you not seen those before? They've done that.
They've done Megatron ones, but I don't think they've done anything with that exact wording on it.
Yeah, I just want that slogan.
I will say, I like how how Rusty jumped in there and he used the megaphone, because normally this would be the point in the episode where things turned around, like the character gave the big speech and now everybody reached an understanding, and it's like, no, it doesn't work that way all the time.
Yeah.
It just gets worse.
Yeah.
And then handing the megaphone, did he hand it to a Sideswipe?
I think he handed it to Grimlock.
Grimlock was just like, what are we gonna do with this? Can I eat it?
I hope that's not what his first initial thought was, but it is also Grimlock, so that kind of makes sense.
You never know.
Yeah.
You just never know.
Him. Poor thing.
So after we have the tons and tons and tons of passive aggression and rearranging things according to, and messing with the command center, which I feel
hurt
like
me
that's
a little bit.
really bad idea.
I think that was a little
on a higher scale.
Yeah, a little meaner than just re-alphabetizing your items.
Well, not even meaner. It's dire. If something happened, if they
messed it up.
needed
Yeah.
I mean, you have two of your agents 2,000 miles away. If they need contact for some reason and they don't have it, problem.
Yeah, I completely agree.
It could all run on nuclear fusion and blow up the state, so not a good thing to tinker with.
Yeah, that dark.
Are we talking about Prime? What's happening?
No more Crown City.
The after show that made Walking Dead jokes for the first episode.
Yeah.
Nothing lasts forever, kids.
Good times. Good times.
Underbite nearly killed a man.
Yeah, well, it's Underbite.
Yeah.
But I mean, I
He
was
also ate
surprised.
some squirrels, so that.
Did he eat squirrel? Oh, the metal squirrel. Right.
That was something I could not get past doing this after show. It's like, and then he eats another squirrel. I can't. I tried, and I failed many times to get around that
Little
sentence.
metal cookies for him.
Yeah.
I guess.
Not a meal.
Listen, he ate a whole city, so like squirrels are definitely an afternoon
No, they're
snack.
like those for him. They're probably like those little mini cupcakes where you just eat one and then you can just pop another one in your
They're
mouth.
animal crackers.
Oh.
I'm so proud of
That was
myself.
really good. Did anybody else think that Grimlock was going to get mad at Fixit for moving his workout station stuff? No.
Yeah.
I was expecting him to be a little bit more angry about that. Just a tad.
I feel like Grimlock rolls with things a little more easily.
I mean, he got annoyed, but it wasn't anything crazy.
In my brain, I was like, why would you do that?
See, now that your stupid feud affects me, now it's a bad thing.
I was actually more surprised that he didn't play with the megaphone as soon as it got tossed his way. I'm an announcer.
And in this corner, we have...
That would have been so
That would have been
funny.
cute.
That would have
Anyway.
been amazing. So we have... And the big point of contention has been the Decepticon hunter who wants to take it apart and play with it and make it work. And can I just say that this is a bad idea overall?
Well, first
to
of
take
all,
apart the giant weapon and play with it?
I didn't even think about that.
but it worked.
Really? It's a giant weapon. You'd think that maybe screwing around with the insides?
In my brain, I was like, okay, he didn't really like do anything, he just stuck a kazoo in it, but at the same time, yeah, it could have just went, and then died.
Oh, I just mean even Denny and
Possibly.
Fixit fighting over it.
That's also true. I don't
Just
know.
like, here's the nuclear reactor. Let's fight over who gets to do things with it. Let's just not touch it.
It was two dudes trying to like come across as the superior kind of guy. So I
This
don't
is
know.
how they do alpha male contests.
This is how we
And they did point out it seems like you're insecure in your place on the team. Like you're watching Dr. Phil. Oh my god.
Yep.
And that is a joke that no child is going to understand.
Yeah, because I
No,
don't see
but
children
every
watching.
adult.
And that is
Unless that child's mom watches Dr. Phil, in which case then they'll get it.
Poor child.
It's better than saying Oprah, because I feel like it would have been a totally different Fixit.
And you get a Decepticon hunter, and you get a Decepticon hunter.
Everybody gets a con hunter.
And if you all look under your seats,
It'd be the greatest Fixit ever. Have you guys been reading Oprah's book? It'd be great.
anyway.
She has her own brand of tea at a place called Starbucks.
We should all go.
So much stellar fusion in this one. Like, again. So it turns out that Russell sabotaged the Decepticon hunter and it's making crazy noises, and lo and
weird.
behold, they have to work together to keep it stable and open it up because otherwise it might explode. Like, does everything just explode if things go wrong?
Apparently
Yes.
so.
Yeah.
It is explosion o'clock.
Yeah.
And they find a kazoo in there. Which, how did he get it open in order to put the kazoo?
I wondered about that too.
Sideswipe and Grimlock, maybe? Maybe.
And you trust Grimlock to open up a
I don't know, guys. I think Russell has proved to be one of the most mature people on this show.
This is
He's a
that's
smart kid. He's a smart kid. I don't think it was that hard
What
for
is
him,
he,
in all
like
honesty.
12?
He acts older than his father, so
That doesn't
there you
mean
go.
anything. Denny acts like he's 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, point being, I don't think that's really that big of a deal. I wrote it off as just he's a smart kid. He figured it out.
It's just one of those things that happens off screen that you're like, wait a minute. Like, how are we going to ship the frog back to the United States? Is that going to get stopped in customs?
Somebody said Amazon Prime.
Oh,
Well played. Well
Sorry,
played.
I didn't know who it was, but you're awesome.
Well
Amazon
played.
Prime.
That is my favorite comment.
I wish we had a drum
I'm
set.
envisioning a very branded figure. Cross promotion.
Yeah.
So we've learned that asking for help is good and teamwork is good and you should maybe not mess with other people's stuff.
No.
episode.
Lots of really good lessons
And I guess
in this episode.
also
I
don't
agree.
project your own insecurities on other people, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something like
I
that.
feel like that's for the more 14-year-old scale of the 7 to 14-year-old audience, because the 7-year-olds are going to be like, don't touch frogs.
I want to point out that since we were talking about Fixit watching Dr. Phil, Allie in the chat was asking, can Strongarm watch cop shows?
That would be adorable.
I can totally assume that she does that.
Yeah.
Just to
This is
fill in the
completely
void.
against protocol. They shouldn't be,
While
should be
we're
critiquing
Yeah, she
them.
would not like cops.
While we're in the middle,
Twilight.
while we're in the middle of giving shout-outs on Twitter at YellowBB325, you'll appreciate this, Alexis. for those of you listening to the podcast, it is a picture of Megatron with the Obama poster saying, "You have failed me." So, well done. Thank you so much.
Megan, she will retweet it. I assume you're going to retweet that.
I am definitely retweeting.
I want it.
Oh my goodness.
Same person actually tweeted a PSA playlist for us.
Oh my God!
So
I know I'm watching tonight. Happy birthday to me.
The bumper sticker for that would be "Yes, we blam."
Also, guys, it is Katie's birthday. So please send in tweets, other things, awesome gifts, pictures, everything. Send it all to Katie because she's awesome and she deserves it.
It's her birthday.
Thank you.
Today is your birthday.
So while we're at that, if you really want to give me a birthday present, you can go to iTunes, look us up there, rate, subscribe, 5 stars because we love you and we know you love all those of us. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching this. And
craziness.
leave us a comment. People who leave comments do get shout outs on air. And if you leave comments, let us know how we're doing. That is that's how we know how we're doing. Yay, we came full circle. That's also how our bosses know how we're doing. They know that you like the show, so you know we get to keep doing this, keeps the lights on in the studio, and we get to bring in wonderful people like Liam here, whom we are thrilled to have with us today.
Oh, hi.
So, rate, comment, subscribe, let us know you love us. We'll be wonderful. And I'm curious, how did you get the underbite voice?
Well, they didn't. The one thing that they talked about when we started was maybe a wrestler vibe to it, and I don't know how that led me to there. I mean, all they knew is that they had him kissing his biceps in it. So, and they wanted big, and I mean, I get cast as big characters a lot, which is strange because you never really leave high school behind. And I'm skinny now, but I was like 150 pounds of nothing, and a doofus getting shoved in lockers. So I still find it, my brain in the front doesn't fully believe, but for some reason I get cast as giant demons, God of War, and this guy. He's one of my favorites. Yeah. But they knew they wanted deep, and it was a question of how gravelly or how dumb, like how broad they wanted. Luckily, they wanted it as broad as possible.
So did you go through a few iterations before you found one that worked, or was it just like this one?
I might not have even auditioned for this one. I don't think I did.
They just called you up and were like, Liam, we have this big brawny character, and you're the guy.
Got you all over him.
Jamie Simone was the voice director for the project, and I've worked with him on a lot of different things, so I think he just remembered that I could when needed.
Who's that guy that's always kissing his biceps in the studio?
He eats and he's on command.
We can totally call him.
But I've just embraced it. I stopped fighting it years ago. So
It seems to have worked pretty well.
I look forward to getting cast as small, ineffectual characters as well, but it doesn't seem to happen as much.
Characters that would get eaten by underbite.
Yeah, sure.
Is that Woody Allen?
When I go to the beach, I don't tan. I stroke.
That just made my day.
I don't know how to recover from that.
But Tish.
Don't. So, do you have any projects that you're working on that aren't covered by an NDA right now that you can tell us about?
Yeah, I guess there's one thing I could talk about. It's totally off the beaten path. For the last 2.5 months, a group of sort of animation and game nerd actors like myself have been playing Dungeons and Dragons on the Geek and Sundry Network.
Critical Role.
Yeah.
Critical Role.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm working on a lot of things, and I can't remember what I'm supposed to talk about and not, but I can talk about that. It's been going for 2 months, a little over 2 months.
Yeah.
It's working. We're having a lot of fun.
You just sold a bunch of T-shirts too, right?
We did. We sold a little over 1,000 in a week.
Wow.
Just to sort of gauge interest, and it seems to be we're getting a ton of fan art for the show for characters that we were, for 2.5 years we were just playing Dungeons and Dragons on our own in the spare time, and now it's funny to see. I mean, we had an initial batch of art that we had done by this great artist named Kit Buss, who's in the UK. And then people have been riffing off of that and just throwing it at us almost daily.
Nice.
So it's weird to see your D&D characters becoming immortalized. But that's my favorite thing right now, and I know I can talk about it. There's no NDAs. So check it out. It's called Critical Role. It's on the Geek and Sundry network. You can see every episode that we've done on geekandsundry.com, and we stream it live every Thursday at 7 p.m. on Geek and Sundry's Twitch channel.
Is that Pacific time?
It's Pacific time, and it's all guys and gals like me who do a lot of work in cartoons and games.
So for those who haven't watched the show yet, tell us a little bit about your character.
In
Critical Role.
In Critical Role.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
We know about him.
Okay.
We know about it.
Well,
I mean, he might have eaten a city here or there.
no, I just play a large city-eating robot in everything that I do, so same. I am the rogue of the party, which, if you don't know what if for anyone who's watching, the one guy who's watching who hasn't played Dungeons and Dragons, rogues are the sort of sneaky, stab you in the back, steal your treasure characters. He's a half-elf rogue, and my character is twins with Laura Bailey, who, if you guys follow this kind of stuff, Laura Bailey voices everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she plays, my character is called Vaxildan, and she is Vexalia, and we're twin half-elves. She's a ranger. God, this is such a dorky conversation.
We've been talking about giant robots for the last hour.
Yeah.
I've been calling Strongarm lawful good since the show started.
Yeah.
We're in the right crowd. So, where can the people go if they want to find out more? About you, your projects, all that fun stuff.
Well, I'm on Twitter as Voice of O'Brien. That's the main place. I used to do more social media stuff, and it's pretty much just withered down to Twitter, which is all you need.
It is. It's a good place to be.
Before we sign out, do we have any nicknames from the chat room?
So many.
We have so many, and also I have another shout out I want to do a little later.
And
but-
Megan
I actually do have one quick question
Yes,
before
go for it.
we wrap it all
Yes,
up.
do it. Please.
Since Underbite was rescued in the previous episode, not to give anything away because who knows?
I don't know what happens next.
Yeah. What would you like to see from Underbite for the remainder of the season?
I think more crushing, outright destruction of the good guys. I think we could just make it a Decepticon reality show.
Forgetting that I invite Collins into this panel, and then I wonder what I get.
I would actually like a con-focused episode where it's just Steeljaw trying to get the team together.
I read as one of the Autobots in the beginning, but I'm pleased to be serving my Dark Overlord.
Nice.
Get out. No, please don't. We like having you here.
All right, ready for this?
Yes.
Yes.
So we got Beast War fan. He said Muscletooth, Eater of Cities. He did a few.
Kind of
them.
Game of Thronesy.
Very
They need to be dorky, you guys. So
Sorry.
Colin Steeljaw hungry like the wolf.
Brawn Bite. These are all from him. I'm just naming them out there now. Chompzilla, City Eater, and Underbite named Chompy from Land Before Time.
Chomper.
That's Chomper.
Chomper, guys, get it together.
Whoa. Okay. So we have Sky Shimmertails said Chomber. I can't even
Chomper
say.
Schnauzer.
There you go.
Schnauzer.
Allie said Metal Pug. I don't know why.
He's sort of a dog.
Yeah.
It is.
See,
Puppy.
yeah.
Well, he was based off of a hyena.
Yeah, that's true.
That's okay. Yeah. So we have a lot of
Pitbull was said a lot in the early days.
There you go. So so we've got a lot of Chompzillas. Chompy.
I like Chompy.
What's Chompy? I think since Liam is here,
Yes.
I think he should get the
Okay.
final
I
say.
think so, too.
That's Chompy.
Chompy it is.
Chompy, it's settled.
Done.
And then
Cute and ironic.
Nah.
And for another shout out, this artist who's on Instagram and on Twitter, his name is Box Office Artist. He does Transformers art.
Ooh, dang.
And I will tweet it out later, but he does some
That
really
is
awesome
lovely.
art. He does a lot
My
of Transformers,
goodness.
Star Wars, Star Trek, everything that you can think of. You should follow him. He's Box Office Artist on Instagram and Twitter, I
Is
believe.
that all ink?
Yeah.
That is lovely.
I was like, I had to do it.
All right, well, I think that's about all we have tonight. So, Alexis, where can the people find you?
You can find me all over the interwebs, and well, I'm stealing this from Emma Fyffe, where all Alexis Torres are sold at atorres890.
Alexis totally stole my thing. I'm at Emma Fyffe. Anywhere Emma Fyffes are sold.
And I'm Megan. You can follow me on Twitter at the Menguin. That's TheMengin. Also on a bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz, and I've started writing articles for the movie Chick with 2 Ks. Be sure to check those out.
And I'm Katie Cullen, and you can't buy me anywhere. But you can find me on Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram at Kiaxet. That's Kiaxet. I'm also on Snapchat at Kia Prime. Liam, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you very much for having me. Succumb to the darkness, everyone.
I disagree.
It's much easier.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, transform and roll out!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.